It's time for Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. We are live in Abuja. Thanks for joining us. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, was founded in 1978 for the primary purpose of conducting examinations for candidates seeking admission into tertiary institutions in the country and offering admissions to those suitably qualified. In its 43 years of existence, JAMB has no doubt recorded so many positives as well as negatives, so to speak. But for nearly 5 years since 2016, the board has arguably recorded far-reaching reformations even in the face of obstacles, succeeding in entrenching verifiable systems in order to create access to timid Nigerian youths into tertiary institutions. Today, transparency, accuracy, accountability and reward have all become synonymous with JAMB and its dealings, to the extent that all facets of stakeholders in the board can and have been attesting to a whole new narrative of anticipated dividends. The conversation is ongoing even as over 20 face-lifting and result-oriented mechanisms and projects have been introduced within the period under review, with the recently concluded 2021 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) laying further credence to the series of concerted efforts by JAMB. Do stay tuned as this week's edition of Weekend File examines reforms in JAMB and the 2021 UTME. We shall, of course, feature well-researched packages from various zones, while our guest, Professor Isiaq Olariwanju Oloyede, Registrar of JAMB, joins us in the course of the conversation. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. The news now. Vice President Yemi Onshimbajo this Saturday joined the people of Kano State for the coronation of Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero as the 15th Emir of Kano. The Vice President, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the occasion, describes Kano as a well-acknowledged commercial city and melting pot for people, and advised the new Emir to uphold the values the position stands for. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Who the cap fits, let him wear it, is a statement made popular by the late legendary Bob Marley in a song. And here, the people of Kano say the cap fits well on Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, their new choice for the position of Emir of Kano. Aminu Ado Bayero was decorated with the Kano traditional regalia, which is a symbol of the Islamic institution, by Mother King Kano and supported by Shama King Kano and Baban Zagi. Thereafter, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje presented the staff of office to the new Emir. While promising to lead by example, the new 15th Emir of Fulani called on the people to eschew violence and embrace peaceful coexistence with other nationals. He also advised the government not to neglect the role of being father to all through good governance.
We're all proud of this city, proud of its legacy of tolerance and warmth, and we're very proud indeed that it remains the home to all and for all Nigerians, regardless of tribe and ethnicity. Your Royal Highness, it is this great city over which God has given you the good fortune of being its monarch, a privilege which you know comes with the obligation of preserving the rich traditions of brotherhood of all tribes and tongues. But we are confident that by the grace of God, you will exceed the reputation of your illustrious forebears.
I urge the traditional rulers to continue playing their important role in keeping peace and stability.
And look forward to your contribution to uplifting the people of Kano Emirate in particular and the nation in general. I wish to assure you of my support for you.
The coronation of Aminu Ado Bayero as the new Emir of Kano was graced by other eminent personalities, including some state governors, some members of the National Assembly, led by the President of the Senate, political office holders, and royal fathers from across the country. In Kano, Jude Onifati, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Sultan of Sokoto Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar III has described patriotism, love and respect for one another among Nigerians as panacea to the prevailing challenges. He was speaking in Kano during the inauguration of Executives of Inter-Tribal Leaders Association of Nigeria. Abdullahi Mustafa has the reports.
It was a congregation of leaders of various ethnic nationalities from the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. They came together under the auspices of the Inter-Tribal Traditional Leaders Association of Nigeria. It is a platform created to strengthen unity and brotherhood among Nigerians irrespective of their tribe or where they live. Inaugurated by the Sultan of Sokoto Muhammad Abubakar III and Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, the association has as its president is Emir of Kano, Boniface Ibekwe.
It is our fervent hope, therefore, to also achieve our vision of restoring peace and unity among all aggrieved ethnic regions.
The development Sultan Sa'ad Abubakar III believes gives hope of having a stronger and united Nigeria.
Reach out to people and listen to everybody. Listen to everybody's views. Respect everybody's view. There's no fight. Because misunderstanding is a very, very dangerous thing. And that's what's happening in this country.
We are clamoring in the constitutional review for a defined role for the institution to be recognized as fourth tier of government.
He also believes that constitutional approach is the best way to pursue or realize any regional agenda. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Now, President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has called for deliberate efforts to improve public perception index of the legislature through effective and transparent performance of constitutional responsibilities. He made a call at the meeting of Conference of Presiding Officers of Nigerian Legislature in Abuja. Dayol Ogunshola reports.
Speaking within the context of this year's theme, President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, says the focus, which borders on perception of the role of legislature, is quite instructive.
Members of the public, especially those minorities who have access to media, should please help our democracy prosper. Tell the true story, inform correctly.
The legislator does not build hospitals. Neither does it construct power plants. But it creates the enabling environment, enacts laws that will make those things possible.
We will use this dynamic weapon, coupon, to strengthen the Nigerian legislatures, especially as we articulate common perspective for the legislature at a time like this.
There were goodwill messages from foreign partners and development-oriented agencies. In Abuja, Dayo Ogunshola, NTA News.
The security matters now, fulfilling its earlier promise that breach of public peace will not be tolerated in Lagos. The State Police Command this Saturday dislodged the congregation of a group in what looks like the proposed Yoruba Nation rally. Adeniyi Taiwo reports that a 14-year-old girl was allegedly killed, but the police has refuted the claim.
It was like every other day in Lagos, people going about their daily business activities. What was, however, different was the presence of security personnel stationed at strategic location within the metropolis. As early as 8 in the morning, security operatives cordoned off Ojota, venue of the proposed Yoruba Nation rally. The Lagos Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, told newsmen that the police will not fail in its responsibility at ensuring safety of lives and property in the state.
Many police officers who lost their lives, many police stations that are burnt down, personal properties of police officers that are burnt down, some have not gotten out of that. And we don't want to allow that.
Not long after the interview with the Commissioner of Police, some agitators converged on the venue carrying placards. Security personnel immediately dispersed them and normalcy was restored. Meanwhile, the police has denied the rumor making the rounds that a 14-year-old girl was shot and killed and the process, but described it as a calculated attempt to create confusion and fear in the minds of the people. The police, through the public relations officer, insisted that the command did not fire a single live bullet and that a corpse was found wrapped and abandoned at a distance far from the venue of the rally. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Still talking security matters, the All Progressives Congress-controlled states have promised to strengthen regular processes on information sharing on issues of security to facilitate the synergy of initiatives and proactive responses through security committees at local government levels. In a statement at the end of a strategic meeting between the APC Governors Forum and secretaries to state government, the Director General of APC Governors Forum, Saliku Mohammed Lukman, and Mohammed Obandoma Aliyu, Secretary to Nasarawa State Government, said all APC-controlled states will ensure that all stakeholders, especially traditional and religious leaders, take more responsibility on security challenges across the country. Now in politics, the All Progressives Congress of the Kwara State chapter, who were denied revalidation or registration, have been assured that the exercise will be open to them before the next congresses. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed announced this while addressing stakeholders in Ilori, the state capital. Anthony Folson reports.
The APC stakeholders came from the 16 local government areas of Kwara State to listen to words of hope from the minister, who did not let them down. He encouraged them to remain steadfast, loyal, and committed to the party.
Let me assure you, there will be no Congress in Kwara State until and when we're all registered. The national chairman of the party told us that, and we believe him. So please wait for the team to come. And when they come out in your thousands. Let them know where the power lies.
Speaking on allegations of diverting campaign funds, the minister expressed shock that the party he worked hard for its success, the beneficiaries, have turned round to malign him.
The allegation of diverting campaign funds to our personal use. And I said, nothing like that happened. By the grace of God, I single-handedly, with the support of friends, politicians, and family, I raised all the money for the 5 elections.
The minister, who spoke extensively, was corroborated by elders of the party who were in attendance. It will be recalled that in February, during the membership revalidation and registration exercise, a sizable number of APC members in the state complained over shoddy and non-compliant mode of the registration, as well as outright sidelining. In Ilori, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the government of Bauchi will from 2022 allocate 10% of the state's budget to agriculture. The state governor, Bala Muhammad, gave the indication at the launch of 2021 farming season and sales of fertilizer in Soro, Ganjua local government area of Bauchi State. Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad reports.
This signals the commencement of distribution and sales of fertilizer for this year's farming season in Bauchi State, to be sold at the cost of 9,000 naira per bag of NPK and 11,000 for urea. The state government, through its fertilizer production plant and a private investor, has so far provided 8,300 metric tons of fertilizer as first tranche of the projected 20,000 metric tons for this year's farming season.
Commitment of our administration to the development of the agricultural sector, we have secured a bank guarantee of 1 billion naira for the purchase of raw materials for 2021 fertilizer production by the State Fertilizer Blending Company. This ISPO has already been signed, and our fertilizer company, which has been run very well and which has been equipped and renovated, is going to start production as soon as possible.
Graciously, the governor has approved the bank guarantee of 1 billion naira, and this is the output. This is the result. We have commenced production.
Also provided a variety of improved seeds and pesticides for better yield. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture has commenced the distribution of fertilizer confiscated by the Nigerian Customs Service from smugglers to vulnerable smallholder farmers. Musa Baba Aliyu reports that the Nigerian Customs Service released the inputs to the ministry as directed by President Muhammadu Buhari.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture received 2 directives from the presidency during the week. The first is the directive to disburse fertilizer subsidy fund to vulnerable smallholder farmers. The second is for the ministry to get access to all confiscated fertilizer from the Nigeria Customs Service for onward distribution to farmers free of charge. Following these directives, the farming inputs have been released to the ministry in 4 locations, which are Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi and Sokoto states.
Our own is to seize it, we have seized it, and keep it in our custody, and now we are directed to hand over to them and supervise them giving out to the farmers.
Sugra Mahmoud represented the Minister of Agriculture at the distribution of the fertilizer in Kaduna. She said each of the beneficiaries is entitled to a 50 kilogram of the farming inputs.
Normally, the farmers will be able to afford maybe 1 mudu of fertilizer, but today the government is giving them a bag free.
But thank God for this one that has been given to me.
Among the beneficiaries is this physically challenged maize farmer who believes that the fertilizer will contribute largely to outputs from small portion of land he is cultivating. From Kaduna, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, Gombe State University has produced 29 medical doctors from the second set of graduates of the Medical College of the institution. Emmanuel Akila reports that they have been automatically absorbed by the state government.
Attestation and oath-taking by the second set of medical doctors from Gombe State University to be initiated into the medical profession.
Once you elect to actually take care of these patients, you must do everything ethically possible to return the patient back to health.
The state government, which places high premium on the health sector, cannot let go of the young and energetic doctors, but recruit them into the state health system that is already in need of more health personnel.
In our resolve to provide qualitative and accessible healthcare services, this government had invested a lot of resources in the upgrading of infrastructure, equipment, and critical manpower of our hospitals.
The production of these medical doctors is a thing of pride to the state, and especially the establishment of the state university.
For the 8 years I spent, and up to now, the #1 project I cherish throughout my service is the Gombe State University.
The fresh medical doctors are appreciative of the state government for the scholarship from start to finish of their course, promising to serve the state and the country faithfully. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
And after 42 years of impactful contributions to the Nigerian university system, Professor Simon Okute has put together a series of research works on natural products chemistry in a publication as well as his biography titled Reminiscences at 17. Elizabeth Omori reports on his retirement from the University of Abuja and book presentation.
With the emergence of pandemics, the need to embrace natural products in preventing and treating diseases, chemists say, is critical to preventing them. Although a biography, the 9-chapter book reveals the richest and sources of drug discovery available as put together by the author, who has served in various capacities within the Nigerian university system and research agencies.
What we have been working on, nobody bothered even to look at them. And that is the problem. When there's a new disease, infection, and you now start to do the work, it takes a long time.
It's to depict the life he has lived and how from a humble background he has made the best of his environment and what the country has to offer.
He's a distinguished academic. He knows his onions.
He has invested so much in human economy.
Professor Okute, who retired from the university system in July 2020, as the Professor of Organic Chemistry, was the pioneer Vice-Chancellor of Kogi State University and former President, Chemistry Society of Nigeria. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Congratulations to Professor Simon Okute. You're working weekend file on the NTA network service. Time for our first break. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on Weekend File. The introduction of Central Admissions Processing System CAMPS to automate admissions process into tertiary institutions in Nigeria by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB is one of the board's reforms to ensure efficiency and openness in the discharge of its mandate. Olayinka Ojo in this report takes a look at how CAPS works and the benefits in the admission process.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, in 2017, at a stakeholders meeting, announced a new method for admission for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, which is automated. This is through the Central Admission Processing System, CAPS. Since this system has been put into use, it has streamlined the admission process, addressed the challenges associated with manual approach, restored the autonomy of tertiary institutions with respect to admissions, made candidates the focus, and empowers them with information on available choices of institutions as well as programs. As a step-by-step admission process, part of the advantages of this system include expansion of candidates' admission opportunities and elimination of multiple admissions.
It's one of the innovations that has brought sanity, it has brought transparency, it has brought flexibility in the admission process.
Before the introduction of CAPS, investigation shows that some candidates seeking admission at times are exploited financially.
My elder brother, before he got admission, it was hard. After writing JAM and all that, he had to pay for getting admission.
Today, all corrupt tendencies associated with admission processes in some tertiary institutions are no longer the order of the day.
My score was good enough. Some weeks later, I got admission. How? It's not something I paid for.
I just said, okay, just go online and check if your admission is in progress. I just logged in, and from admission in progress, it just changed to admitted.
This is because CAPS, as a process, ensures that candidates seeking admission are fairly treated. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has been working towards making the Unified Matriculation Tertiary Examination UTME seamless for candidates. This is evident in its recent reforms, as Hengino John Adams reports on the just concluded examination in Lagos.
To revamp the board's activities to meet global best practices, JAMB introduced the use of telecommunication companies instead of VSAT to announce examination results, deploy various online platforms for payment, e-ticketing, e-PIN, among others. These reforms have given the UTME a new dimension.
In the time past, it has always been stressful to get your results, and even the results can easily be manipulated. But now there is nothing like that.
Even with CCTV, it assisted in monitoring those who are going to have sharp practices. So if you have done that and the camera has picked you, the CCTV has picked you, then you have to face the brunt.
As interesting as the new experience sounds, it was not all rosy for some candidates in Lagos.
You had to send multiple of messages before you can actually generate a PIN, and per message is 15 naira.
For you to go through that the e-processing online, this online, it has been giving us issue.
Mine was smooth. Since I had to get my NIN first before I could proceed my registration.
As the board continues to consolidate on its reforms, prospective candidates are hopeful that the next examination will be hitch-free. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Joining us live in the studio is the JAMB registrar, Professor Ishaq Olarewaju Oloyede. Thank you for joining us, Professor Layode.
Thank you very much.
Let's start with the litany of reforms you were able to spearhead in the board. What really motivated you? What did you see when you got into this on the saddle, and how has it been working so far?
Yes, thank you very much. I believe that reforms must have goals. There must be purpose for the reforms. The whole world is moving towards automation, towards technology-driven systems. And what we simply did was to follow that path. And some of the things we used to do, of course, when you do not adopt the appropriate technology, the possibility of some clever people thinking that they are wiser than others, taking advantage of the system is there. So what we simply did was to make sure that we find the easiest and most efficient ways of doing some of the things we do. One of the primary purposes of JAMB is to ensure that there is no duplication, multiplicity of admission. But when you do admission manually in committees, the possibility is there that since you are doing this simultaneously, what you are doing, Group A, Group B may do the same thing. And at the end of the day, by the time you come to put them together, you discover that some candidates might have been taken in 2 or 3 places. What we did simply was to automate that system and to make it also possible, because we, in the past, you know, admission officers, vice chancellors will have to be moving, even from JAMB, our staff will have to be moving all over the country conducting admission. We have automated that through CAPS in such a way that now it is not possible. Nobody, no institution can reject a candidate already admitted, because nobody can initiate admission except the admission officer of the institution. And nobody can recommend except the head of that institution, vice chancellor, rector, or provost. And somebody sitting down elsewhere, either JAMB or elsewhere, just saying, oh, this candidate is to be admitted, does not exist. Any candidate will have to be recommended. What we simply do is to conduct the UTME for about 85–90% of the candidates. 10 to 15% will come in through direct entry. They do not take any examination. And we return the results to the institutions. And the institutions will now examine and determine what level they will have. And that will also be automated in such a way that admission goes on without having to congregate at a place. And that's one of the systems. And even when there are amendments to the program, it is also possible that rather than somebody writing after your Senate or your academic board are taking a decision, you now bring that to JAMB physically. We do not need to do that. We have IBAS, which is integrated system, where we allow all the institution, whatever changes you have, you just simply upload. When you upload, this goes to is checked by the regulatory agencies. We look at what you want to propose. Does it violate the rule of the NUC? Does it violate any rule from the MBT? Does it violate any rule from the NCC? This is automatically checked on the system. And if there is anything, is flagged that, oh, you want to waive this course, chemistry for instance, NUC regulation does not allow it for that course. So once all these will be done and returned to the institution and automatically goes into the new curriculum, the program for the year. So we have done that again to reduce the cost and the danger of traveling, to make sure that, and again, in the process of candidates changing one course or the other, you start to buy scratch card, you start to pay. In the process, some staff members and even non-staff take undue advantage of scratch card. Even so, to the suppliers themselves, they duplicate scratch card that one card will be sold to 3, 4, 5 persons. All these are eliminated because if there is no proper management of the system, then people will take undue advantage of the system. So what we have done with this is just to find efficient way that it will take a real criminal to want to, and it will be obvious, not somebody who becomes a thief by accident, because if you place your thing where it is not supposed to be, some people who are not ordinarily thieves become thieves. So it will take a real thief to want to break into the system, and it will be clear, because you would not have put your property within the reach of a person who is not really a thief.
Professor Louis, yes. Let me ask you this, because obviously these reforms are really working, but then it's like bringing an entire change to a former norm. Did you meet some obstacles?
Of course, any change, if there is no obstacle, it means that the change is not a change. Everybody, even if you want to move from hell to fire, to paradise, if you want to move from hell to paradise, the body, it's natural that you will not be sure of where you are going. People, for instance, want to go to paradise, but they don't want to die. And the process of change is that you have to die before you go into paradise. So it is normal that there will be obstacles, and there are still obstacles. But if you want to do anything, once you are sure of what you want to do, you are sure of the strength, you are sure of the purpose, you do not care about obstacles, because obstacles are natural and they are supposed to be removed without much disruption. As easy as possible, you try and make the change, and that is why it is not any insurmountable obstacle. All these obstacles are obstacles that can be...
These are obstacles that were there before.
Yes, they were, and I would still say they are still there, because no matter what you do, those who want to do something differently people who make money from all these illicit educational services, they will still want to make sure that they protect their interests. Annually, they make money, a lot of money. Those who want to get themselves involved in exam. But what we try to do is to minimize, to make sure, to make life difficult for those who want to do things in a way that is not normal. So,
all right, we are discussing with Professor Isaac Olaranjo Oloyode, JAMB Registrar, tonight on Weekend File. Let's go on another break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Recent reforms introduced by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to a large extent eliminated errors in the registration process. This is the view by educationists in Enugu State. Chine Yangwe reports.
I was thinking like they will change their syllabus in terms of the future, but the exam was very good and okay.
It's late, and then the thing is being controlled, so the people at the headquarters have a set time that is short its off.
Those were the experiences of some candidates who sat for the Unified Tertiary Matriculations Examination organized nationwide by the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, to eliminate errors in the registration for the examinations and to curb exam malpractices. JAMB published new requirements and guidelines for all accredited computer-based CBT centers. These requirements include that all CBT centers must ensure the use of dual screen for registration, which must be followed strictly to ensure that candidates sign out by doing a thumbprint, ensuring data was uploaded Other requirements include that UTME candidates were to create a profile code by sending their names and national identity numbers, NIN, to 55019.
The whole process, I would say, it's very okay, it's very fine. The students, they were well informed and well equipped for the exam. They came in time, good enough.
It's been smooth so far.
Okay.
At least hitch-free, no network issues and all that.
While commending the reforms by JAM, some key players in Enugu suggested that the National Universities Commission should consider more of virtual learning and the use of digital devices in schools.
We talk about examination malpractice and the need to discourage that. We should stress more on the need to restore the reading culture.
Others were, however, of the view that after assessing the students through the examination, JAM should also ensure that those who passed gain admissions into universities and other tertiary institutions. In Enugu, Chineyenwoye, NTA News.
Lack of reading culture among the younger generation and the inadequate orientation on the application of the computer-based test are some factors responsible for the low scores recorded by some candidates who sat for the 2021 UTME. Abubakar Mohammed Musa reports that this is a submission by parents.
The Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, has over the years introduced reforms in conducting the exercise to ensure efficiency, security and authentication of candidates' identities to check fraudulent activities. Despite this dynamism and reorientation, complaints of poor performance and other challenges were features of examination from candidates.
I felt really bad actually, like most people I know didn't reach the cut-off mark, but I'm sure by next year we are going to do something about it.
Though I'm not among the ones that failed, but actually a lot of my friends failed. I'm actually very sad.
Students are not committed as before. In our own days, we are committed to reading our books. We face our books squarely.
As a principal and teachers, we have been doing our best to make sure that this has not been repeated.
The Boko Haram insurgency, among other peculiar challenges in Borno State, made it possible for JAM CBT centers to operate only in Maiduguri, the state capital, and Biu town. Stakeholders have advocated for a more robust reorientation in every aspect of teaching and learning towards correcting future anomalies.
On the side of the government, we'll do our best to make sure that these centers have met all the necessary requirements.
The ministry for now is trying to introduce ICTs in all the schools, especially the secondary schools.
From Damaturu, Yobe State, Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports that the 2021 UTME was successfully conducted in 11 CBT centers.
Some of the students doesn't know how to use computers. That's the biggest problem.
In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
Professor Ishaq Oloyede, JAMB Registrar, is still with us in the studio. Professor Oloyede, let's revisit the 2021 UTME vis-a-vis the fact that some people believe that all didn't go well with the candidates in terms of the final outcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I've heard people say that, many people failed, and some people even say that will affect their the possibility of their being admitted. This is not so. Statistics that we have show clearly that yes, there is a difference. The performance this year was not as good as that of last year, but why? It's expected. This is the first, you see, in Nigeria, many people, we think we are not living within a global community. All informed, educated, education experts had predicted that national and international examinations, there will be effect of COVID-19. The lockdown, the point that we are in the academic calendar, because last year when they were taking the examination, they had gone far in the coverage of the syllabus, the incomplete session, emergency online that you have, and many other disturbances in Nigeria here. You have other disturbances like insecurity, and you don't. Somebody should be surprised if there is no effect on the exam. It means something is wrong with the examination. The results, the examination that JAMB conducts, UTME, is not an achievement test. It's a ranking test. It's just like, how do I describe it? If you are going for a race, if you are going on a race and you say, okay, 100 persons, you are going for a competition, you don't talk about how many minutes it takes you to cover the period. You say this first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and you rank them.
With your time.
So you rank them according to the time they arrive at the venue. But there could also be another competition that before you can be part of it, you must be able to cover so meters within specific time. That's what is called achievement test. In achievement test, you will have determined the pass mark. Everybody will have known that 50% is A, is C, this one is this. That's what is called achievement test. But in a ranking examination, what you are doing is to rank them within the group. When we were in secondary 1, secondary 2, nobody talks about credit for you. They talk about position. I came first, I came second, I came third, because they were ranking you at that time. But at the certification class, the issue of who comes first or comes second does not matter, because the standard has been set. As far as UTME is concerned, it's a ranking examination. Therefore, there is no pass or fail, because it is not UTME that qualifies a candidate for admission. Over 10% or 15% of the candidates don't take exam. They even come in at 200 level. Direct entry candidate. They don't take exam at all. They are evaluated on the basis of their A level. Those who take exam, if you score 400 over 400 and you do not have 5 credits, you are going nowhere. It is the 5 credits that qualify the person, but because those who are eager to go into certain programs, they are more than the availability, the space available. That's why you are conducting exam to rank them, not to pass or to fail. And when you look at the statistics, I was telling somebody today that when you look at the statistics of the results, if you look at the last 4 years, in 2018, for example, those who score 120 and below, they were about 99 and above. They were 99.99 of the candidates in 2018, 99.92 in 2019, 99.80 in 2020, and this year 99.65, a drop of 0.25 from that of last year. If you look at, let's even take those who score 160 and above. Last year it was 69.82. This year is 45.62. When you look at even the high grade, those who score more than 3%, score more than 300 over 400. Last year they are 0.26 of the class. This year they are 0.06, and the year before they were 0.16. So all these, for us as a ranking examination, we don't need to adjust the results. Let people see the results as they are. If you want to do an examination that, of course, education experts know that when you see that, oh, there is failure, they do something, they say they give them extra mark or they upgrade their something. Let us face our reality. The reality is that the candidates are performing less than expected, and there are also environmental factors that we need to. But if you would believe that we should announce a result that will say everybody has scored 100%, it's not. But as regards admission, the performance does not affect admission.
Okay.
Because the number of persons to be admitted,
that's exactly where a lot of people
it does not, because ranking, you just draw the line at the appropriate person. Maybe the last person last year scored 60%.
Okay, Professor Oloyede, having said that, let's quickly round up. Tell us about discrepancies in the direct entry system, because a lot of people made certain, cut-off marks and were not able to gain admission.
There are so many factors. There are so many factors responsible for that. For instance, anybody who is going to, of course, education is in the is not on exclusive list. It's on the concurrent list, which means local government, state government, federal government. If you belong to, all federal government institution, 45% is merit. If I come from Ogun State, where I come from, and I apply to, say, Bayero University, Kano, the only way I can come to Bayero University is to be among the top 45%. If I am not there in 45, of course, I cannot fall within catchment. Catchment for BUK will be for Jigawa, will be for Kano, the states around BUK. The same thing happens if I want to go to, somebody from Kano wants to go to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, in the southwest. The catchment area, many students don't take that into consideration when they are applying. If you apply to where you do not fall within catchment area, of course, you must be sure of yourself, or you will belong to educationally less disadvantaged states. There are states that are educationally less disadvantaged.
Thank you very much.
It's not absolute in terms of admission.
Thank you, Professor Isaac Olaruwanju Oloyede, JAMB Registrar. Thank you for coming to Weekend File tonight.
Thank you very much.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be speaking with the JAMB Registrar, Professor Isaac Olaruwanju Oloyede, JAMB Registrar, on tonight's edition of Weekend File. It's time for another break. When we return, sports and more.
Welcome to Sports Update. I'm Bade Adeleye. The president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Tonoboko Kowa, says an appeal has been lodged in response to the World Athletics disqualification of Nigeria's women's 4x400 meters team, who recently booked their Tokyo 2020 ticket. Okowa made this known in a chat with me on NTA Sports World earlier today.
We have sent an appeal to the World Athletics. I don't know if that will work, but we've done what we are supposed to do as a federation. The important thing is that the technical department should not have allowed that to happen.
Meanwhile, all is now set for the international friendly between Nigeria's Super Eagles and their Mexican counterparts. The encounter, which will be prosecuted by players largely drawn from the Nigeria Professional Football League, kicks off at 4 Sunday morning. Away to Euro 2020, where Denmark's emotional journey continues as they recorded a 2-1 win over Czech Republic to advance to the semi-finals. Thomas Denali and Kasper Dolberg shot the Danes 2-0 up in the first half, and despite Patrick Schick pulling one back, the match ended that way as Denmark will be heading to Wembley for the last 4 clash. And finally, the last quarter-final match, which was between Ukraine and England, just ended with the Three Lions recording a comprehensive 4-0 win. Raheem Sterling set up Harry Kane for England's first goal in the 4th minute. Harry Maguire's header in the 46th minute made it 2-0 before Kane scored his second in the 50th minute. Jordan Henderson made it 4-0 in the 63rd minute. And our ball on sports is back to Kenny.
Thank you, Bade. And that's Weekend File tonight on the network service of the NTA. Remember to join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. My name is Kenan Ima Abodike. Good night.